Mr. Fancy, how are you, dude?
Good, good. How's it going, man?
Dude, you look like $1 million right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love the fucking Hawaiian shirt.
Dude, right? I like I didn't even know you were dude, this is awesome. We both dressed up.
Normally, both of us, it's either
Uh,
been some recliner sports report apparel or some type of sports t-shirt, just both without talking.
I don't know if you
Come
watch
on with
New
collared
Girl.
shirts today.
I don't know if you watch New Girl at all, but there's an episode where Schmidt and Nick pitch sweater suits, like hoodie suits. That could be the new recliner sport. Just the nice. It's
I'm in.
professional, but it looks great.
I'm in. Sign me up.
um, Awesome, man. Well, welcome back, Recliner Sports Reporters. Another week's episode of Keep the Change podcast. Man, we got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. Let's start it off, man. Let's start off with an easy one. So, Russ had his first couple games with the Clippers, looking pretty solid. Had a double-double in his first game. Was having a pretty solid game the other night, but then he got pulled in the fourth and didn't really touch the floor. What's your thoughts on how Russ is kind of settling in with the Clippers?
And I think he's fitting well. He's he's got a lot of just intangibles that he brings to the team, and I just always love his hustle. He seems like he's getting along with everybody well too. Even though there's some superstars on that team, Kawhi isn't a huge personality, and I really don't think Paul George is either. I mean, I know he's had some questionable, diva-ish moments in his career, but all in all, I think they want to win, and I think that's what Russ wants at this point.
Yeah, I think Russ definitely he's going to play with everything he's got, and I think he understands that. He even said, it feels good to be wanted again for a team. So I'm glad to see him doing well there. I'm going to be continuing to rock his double doubles until they make the playoffs, man, and then I'm going to keep riding it. It's definitely gone down from plus. It was plus 650 when he first joined, but now it's working its way down to plus 200s. As I know, when that guy gets hot, that guy can score double doubles.
Yeah, triple doubles
like that. All right, let's keep it basketball. Pat Bev and the Bulls off to a really good start. I think that was the right move for him to the Bulls. I still think, like we were talking about last week, the East, definitely tough to get out of. But what's your kind of thoughts on how Pat's doing with the Bulls?
Yeah, he's fitting in well. He's chilling well. I mean, he just fits the city. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think is he from Chicago originally? Is that his hometown?
Oh, let's fact check that. That's good.
But I still just don't think it puts them over the top. I think the Bulls are a good team, but there's three teams I could see coming out of the East.
He is from Illinois.
Illinois.
So that makes hometown kid. That does make sense. I like that. Yeah. That's good. You're right. He does. He fits in well with them. Again, I think there was a whole bunch of stuff, it sounds like, going on with the Lakers. And like we were kind of saying a couple of weeks ago, it's like I think they got rid of the wrong people or the wrong person. And Pat Bev's a smart guy. He saw another opportunity, and it's a business, and he took it.
Yeah. Blame him for it.
All right, we got two more here. Basketball topics. Celtics and Bucks. So the Celtics, for the first time since September, do not have the best record in the NBA right now. The Milwaukee Bucks took that over, and they are playing right now to cap their to continue their 15-game win streak. So Celtics set a record of 83 weeks. And with the best record in the NBA, it's I think it's the top longest to have the best record in the NBA. Are the Celtics now? Here's the thing: Jason Tatum threw a massive fit last night, And as me and you have both seen before, Jason Tatum, when he doesn't want to play, he is god awful. Last night he played terribly. Um, is there a problem there for the Celtics as they start getting here into the playoffs? And if the Bucks, I know Giannis is a little banged up, does the Bucks become the new top team now in the East?
And I don't know. It's hard to bet against them. I mean, Giannis is Giannis. They just find ways to win. The Celtics are a deep team, and I'm biased. I love my Cavs. I still think we're going to come out of the East. That's just 100% my heart talking, but there's some head in there too. There's a chance, but I don't know. I just think back to I could be wrong, but I want to almost get it right. I think Coach K called Jason Tatum just a soft ass St. Louis kid at one point when he was at Duke.
That is all right. One, Coach K knows what he's talking about. That might be the most accurate representation that I've heard of Jason Tatum. Because again, when that kid is hot, when he wants to score 53 points in an All-Star game, he goes and score 53 points. But when your team needs you, you can't put up the points that you need to. You walk up and down the court. And then not only that, he throws a temper tantrum and gets ejected out of the game.
Yeah.
Like what? Now
I read one thing that he said. He said that he told the referees that it was the best officiated game that he had ever seen in his life, and that they had just done such a phenomenal job tonight that it was just the best job he had ever seen a referee do before.
Yeah, and I saw that clip today on ESPN. I mean, again, now the question here then is, they just promoted Joe Mazzulla to head coach from interim head coach. Is this a challenge for Joe? I know they were kind of talking about this on First Take last week. Is Joe did they jump the gun on promoting him? Because he still has to manage this talent. He's a great coach. I don't think anyone can take that away from him, but this is still Ime's team pretty much from last year. Yeah. And is the lacking of Ime being able to control those personalities and let players like Tatum know when they're, not let them get away with that type of stuff. Is this something we see might affect the Celtics in the playoffs?
I don't know, because anymore NBA is just a lot of prima donnas. And even some of the greatest players, and they're tough guys, not saying they're not, but they have attitudes. When things don't go their way, they throw fits. And Tatum had some validity to his argument. There were some pretty bad missed calls. And I'm not going to disagree with him on that. I'm not taking him aside. I'm not a huge Tatum fan, or I don't hate him. I don't have a dog in the fight really either way with him. But I don't know. I just can't fathom acting like that. Yeah, but it's entertainment. They're also out there trying to put on a show. So who's to say that these top paid players aren't told to, put on a little bit of an extra show sometimes?
That's a really good point. That's a good conspiracy theory there, right there. Like, was it scripted? I mean, again, ever since Adrian Foster came out with the whole NFL script thing, you got to start thinking, is there NBA scripts? Like, did Tatum get the script that night and was like, hey, the refs are going to call a bad game on you tonight. You're going to have a blow up here and you're getting ejected tonight. Just a heads up. Too many people have put money on you guys to win tonight. So you guys got to take this loss. You guys, you don't need the win. So it's okay if you guys lose one tonight. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this develops. Again, we're talking about a team who last year at this point didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs, then went on that amazing run, made it to the finals where they eventually lost to the Warriors in a really, really hard-fought series. But I don't know. Again, I think there's a lot of teams in the East. You got, of course, the Bucks and Celtics, but like you said, I think the Cavs are right there. I think Donovan Mitchell, I think he's a amazingly talented player. I think you guys have a real shot to make a deep playoff run if all the pieces kind of fall in line for you guys.
Mobley's the main piece in that. That we go with it. Mitchell's a star. Garland's going to do his job. Jared Allen's going to go out there and get you a double-double every night and put in work. But as Evan Mobley continues to grow, if he continues to become that Kevin Garnett type player, watch out.
Yeah,
He
I agree with
becomes
you
aggressive on offense. The nights that he's aggressive on offense, and we're unstoppable because that brings the other big overhelping off of Jared Allen. And he's a good enough passer in those points that, if they double me and JA's right there wide open, I'm just going to lob it up to him, let him throw it in.
Yeah, that is a really, really good point. Yeah, the Cavs are strong, man. Moving back to the other conference out west, we were talking about last week, LeBron. He just got injured, expected to miss a couple weeks here. Does this come to the end of the line for the Lakers? Do they have a realistic shot now?
Done. Yeah, I don't see any way they make the playoffs at this point. So really, at this point, I don't know if LeBron comes back.
Well, he did mention he wants to play with his son, or at least against his son.
I'm not saying retiring, but just
I agree with you.
This season, what's the incentive to come back and play for a 15-win team that's already eliminated from the playoffs by the time you go from your injury?
I got what you're saying, yeah.
38, 39 years old. And rest up the knees, get healthy, enjoy the long off season.
I could see that. I mean,
next year.
We see it in the NFL all the time. That's I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think if LeBron's there, the Lakers have zero chance of making this. I wish him a speedy recovery, though. I hope he's okay. You hate to see anyone get hurt, and especially LeBron. All right. Speaking of the NFL, some big news here. Let's start off at the top because we'll save the best for last. Chicago Bears are interested in trading away their first pick. If you're the Chicago Bears, what do you do here?
You got to trade. I mean, there's what non-quarterback in this draft is really worthy of the number one overall pick, and what player in this draft is really going to be enough to elevate the Chicago Bears as an organization. The answer to both those questions, at this point at least, is none.
So what teams out there you think go after something for the Bears?
And who is super uber desperate for a quarterback?
The Colts.
That has the capital to throw out there. I mean, yeah, the Colts need a quarterback bad.
Panthers.
The Panthers could use a quarterback.
Saints.
Call me crazy. Do the Jets still need a quarterback?
Oh, Jets are definitely up there.
Yeah, Mike White, isn't it?
No.
Zach Wilson's, his best story is going to be about banging his mom's best friend.
Yeah, the Zach Wilson era has come to a crashing halt.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks and those teams specifically, because if they don't trade up with the Bears for that first round pick, Derek Carr is scheduled to meet in Indianapolis today with Panthers, Jets, and Saints. So depending on how those meetings maybe go for Derek Carr, maybe one of those teams then go for the Bears. And then speaking of that, are any of those teams a fit for Derek Carr?
I don't see the Colts doing it. I really think they're going to try to go all in on trying to get one of the top three quarterbacks in this draft. I don't know whoever they're in love with, but
where are the Colts? Keep going. I'm going to look up where the Colts are in the draft.
After trying the Matt Ryan project last year and that failing miserably, I think the Colts are ready to go with some young, fresh blood, see if they can strike again. I mean, hell, 2 out of the last 3 quarterbacks they drafted early were named Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. So, granted, that's been 30 years, but that's some great guys to pick there.
I'm looking this up, a proposed trade has been brought up to the Colts where the Colts would receive the number 1 overall pick and the 2024 fourth round pick. That could
In
be
exchange for
for the Bears in exchange for
gotta think
number
if you're the Bears.
35, a number 35 pick, first round pick in 2024, a second round pick. So the Bears receive a number 4 overall pick, number 35 overall pick, 2024 first round pick, and 2024 second round pick.
2 1s, 2 2s, and you're only moving down 4 spots. Yeah, you got to jump all over that if you're the. I mean, I'm sure they could get a couple more day 3 picks, but you got to jump all over something like that. You're only moving down 3 spots. Realistically, as the Bears, you're probably going to get your pick of the litter still as who you want.
Yeah, I think the Bears have to go over someone's got to get someone that's going to be able to got to get a weapon for Fields. Because as we've seen with that style quarterback, if they don't have weapons and they have to be really mobile, they don't really last long in this league.
Yeah. Another thing,
yeah, keep going.
There's a guy there that's protected Fields in college too that is also projected to be a top 5 pick in Paris Johnson Jr.
Yeah,
tackle of Ohio State. So another thing they could do is he needs some help staying upright too.
He does. And again, he doesn't have to be as mobile too then. So that leaves Derek Carr then, man. Where do you think he lands? Panthers, Jets, and Saints. I mean, those are 3 teams that could all really benefit. I do think Derek Carr's got a lot left in him. I don't really like how it all kind of ended with the Raiders. I don't think he's a bad player. I think I really liked the Raiders coming into last season. I think they lost a couple. They weren't really getting blown out. They just lost a couple close games.
Yeah.
And the ball just didn't go their way. I thought defensively they played pretty well. But where does a guy like Derek Carr fit in here?
And I like him in New Orleans. I love Jameis. Who doesn't?
I love the show.
But I like Derek Carr as a quarterback running the system in New Orleans. Doesn't mean it's entirely going to happen. They already have, like you said, Jameis, and can't forget about Taysom Hill.
No, right?
The biggest X factor in the NFL.
The literally put him on defense if you need to.
I
agree with you. I agree with you on that one. I think the Saints are the perfect pick for him. I don't think I know I wouldn't pick the Panthers or the Jets. I think they have a lot of other things going on around them. A lot of other just outside factors. So I agree with you. I think that if I'm Derek Carr, I want to go somewhere that doesn't have a lot of distractions outside of the game. And I think the Saints, I think they're a well-coached team. I think that, again, I think the past couple seasons, they've just been plagued with injuries at quarterback and having to put not top-level guys in there, but just game. I mean, if you have Andy Dalton in the game, trust me, as someone who watched Andy Dalton for 8 or 9 seasons, I forget now how many he played for the Bengals, because it was just you try to forget at that point. That's not good, and when you have to eventually then go to Taysom Hill as your next, I mean, again, as good as the quarterback as he is, he's not the guy that's going to be winning you Super Bowl. So I do think a guy like Derek Carr could really, really help the Saints and really make them a contender. In a conference too, in a division that very weak and
almost become a favorite with Carr.
Yeah, really, really, really do. And I do think that really helps them a lot. And then that brings us to the quarterback that everyone wants to know where they're going. The man who just came out of his darkness retreat. And usually Pat McAfee has Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on their podcast, and it didn't happen. They did not have Aaron on today. I know the whole world was tuning in. I know I was one of them, and I know it's been all over social media, just waiting to see Aaron Rodgers. Nothing. He wasn't there. What do you think happened in that darkness retreat?
Lots and lots of really good, high-quality drugs. I think that there were points there where Aaron was seeing shapes
in other dimensions,
colors, smelling the colors.
He made contact with the with aliens.
Yeah, that's why all these UFOs disappeared.
They were
Aaron
all
talked them down.
they were all hanging out with Aaron, bro. They all were like, "Yo, we get to go meet Aaron Rodgers. Everyone, hold up, everyone, meet at this location." Um, yeah, I don't know. It's getting really. It's the more and more you hear about it, the more and more it's looking like he's not going to be with the Packers. Um,
I don't think
there's been some kind of leaks coming out where the Packers are done with him. He hasn't seemed happy there for a while. He's been very vocal about how he feels about the Packers organization, which again, I think it's at what point do you allow someone to continually just shit all over you as your face of your organization? He's constantly talking negative
40
about,
million, 35 million a
yeah,
year.
to get talked bad about. I think at some point, I think the Packers have to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
And I think it's move on. And then again, Aaron, as we all know, can be an MVP. I mean, he is an MVP caliber quarterback. So of those teams we kind of mentioned, like, where does that land him then?
That's a tough one, but honestly, I wouldn't think it'd be crazy to see him reunite with Devontae Adams and take over Derek Carr's job in Las Vegas.
I agree with you on that.
There's a lot of money. He wants to be out on the West Coast in the nice weather.
I mean, they got Stidham right now. Oh, and
yeah.
I think he's got property out there. Like, there's almost a part of me that thinks that, like, he takes a private jet, like, to Green Bay, like, for practice and stuff. Because I know, like, when he did his interview with Barstool, the Sunday Morning Conversation, Caleb Presley, I think they did it in his San Francisco home. So I think, or at least his LA home. So I think he's got property at least close by. If not, we can afford something. So I like that. I do think that's a smart move. I think that's probably, like, if I'm looking at, like, best places for Aaron, that's where I would go if I was, like you said, get nice warm weather, you have fun city, get reunited with your guy. I think and they need him. I mean, what do they got right now? Stidham, like, that's their quarterback. Like, nothing against that kid. It's just
he ain't it.
He's one season away from competing against AJ McCarron in the XFL.
Yeah.
so I mean, that's just the reality of it. So it'll be interesting to see.
A fun fact I saw today. First ever now, we have a quarterback that has been benched in the NFL, the CFL, the XFL, and the USFL. Paxton Lynch.
Breaking records, that guy.
In every league. And, he's also been a professional quarterback in about every league in North America, too. So we'll give him the kudos there. I was wrong on him. I thought he was going to be good. I wanted him in Cleveland coming out of college.
Well, I mean, if he would have went there, it just would have been bad. Would have been put on that long list of Cleveland quarterbacks that have just been taken down over the years. Hopefully, Deshaun is not added to that list. But there may be a curse. I think it's the curse of Bernie.
Who knows?
It'll be interesting to see what happens with all these quarterback situations. And especially, you got, like, guys like Bryce Young coming out. I believe Caleb Williams coming out this year too.
And I think he returned. So young Will Levis out of Kentucky and Buckeye CJ Stroud. Those are your top three quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't know
good pick.
Any of them are super, I don't know, knock your socks off quarterbacks in the NFL, honestly. I like CJ. I like him a lot. I'm just so burned on Buckeye quarterbacks not making it in the league. But Justin Fields out there running around looking like one of the best running backs to come out of Ohio State all year last year. That helps a little bit.
Ooh, Hooker's coming out too
Okay.
from Texas.
Yeah.
The
Tennessee.
guy Tennessee, sorry. The guy from Florida's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Levis from Kentucky, CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, I don't know if any of them's the next Super Bowl guy, but they can definitely there's a lot of
There'll be
teams that
3-4 of them picked in the first
yeah,
round.
and there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. So definitely need to land somewhere. All right.
The more they're picked earlier, the better for my Browns. So send them all up. They're all
yeah,
gonna be
right. Yeah, you just need all the skill positions still available for you guys. All right, that brings us to our
come on.
our last topic of the day, which I'm actually the most excited to talk about. So AI has been becoming very popular. You have ChatGPT, you got all these AI softwares coming out. Elon's spoken about AI. New recent AI has come out in Discord for sports betting and coming up with parlay picks. What does this do to sports gambling? Is this reliable? Who's on the other end of this?
Man, that's one thing I kind of slightly thought about, but I never really thought of it until you just said it like that. Who's on the other end of it? So I put one on tonight. I don't remember, honestly, off the top of my head what it is. It was a 5-leg. It's usually what this one is. One of my coworkers, Ashton, one of my buddies, he's on some Discord group that they put out every night, like a daily AI parlay. That it's usually somewhere plus 1,000. So it's exciting. He said I don't believe it's hit except for the very first night. And it's only been going on for about a week now, maybe under that. But he said it's been really, really close the last few nights.
It's still learning. It's AI. It's still learning.
It's going to figure out. But hey, if it figures out where you can hit for, plus 1,000 3 times out of a week, 3 out of 7, that gets you in the green, don't it?
Well, because it's funny you say, because there are already like betting algorithms out there, right? Like I just recently stumbled across this one. It's called the 25 2015, where you take in a game, you take the 2 guys that are most likely to score 25 points. You take the favorites on that. Then you take 2 guys outside of the 25 points who can score 20 points a game. You take the favorites, take that, and then you take who to score 15 points, whoever the favorite, and you parlay those together. So the 2015, that's a real strategy out there. We were kind of talking about the whole bet $100 on every underdog in March Madness, how that had to pay out. So it's not like unrealistic as much as like there's already been progress with AI for them to kind of figure out these trends. This could really potentially give bettors at least, because again, we all know the house always wins, right? So it's just like counting cards. Even counting cards
with their heart.
Right. And even like counting cards, as good as you can be, you still take losses on counting cards because the true count runs and, ups and closes. And it's never really a perfect system. You're just kind of betting higher when the odds are with you. And it's just kind of putting that. So it's almost kind of like card counting in the sense is like if AI can figure out when the chances are better for the bettors and the bettors are sticking with it and consistently playing it, this could be potentially really give gamblers here a tool for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. It's all about just trying to find ways to get an advantage and get a little edge. I mean, my personal thing still is just watching every single game. I mean, I know you can't do it for every team. Fortunately, I wish I could. That'd be awesome. But there's no better way to get a feel for teams and players than if you watch every single one of their games.
And
that's why I feel like everybody needs to have one team that they kind of focus on.
You know,
Other teams that are cool, they're fun to bet on and stuff, but yeah, like me with the Cavs, that's where I put a good focus on my bets is whenever the Cavs play.
yeah, but see, basketball is really hard for that. Like you have to stay with one team, but I think that's the beauty of like football, right? Is because you can watch all those games, which I think is one for me, like football and not college. NFL for me is like that, right? Because and when I don't have a team that I've watched a couple games on, I don't feel as confident betting them. But I do feel like I have higher returns during NFL season because of that point that you brought up, which is I'm constantly watching them week after week. I feel like things like basketball, hockey, and baseball, there's so many games, it's hard to, so you really do, like you said, you have to kind of like, all right, what's the team I'm going to focus on? And then not bet with just your heart, but kind of just like bet how they've been performing. That's a really good point you just brought up there.
They just got to take the emotions out of it. And that's, sometimes, especially after a few drinks, maybe not always the easiest thing to do because heck yeah, my Cavs they're going to kill it. We're going to win by 30 every night. But I know that ain't true.
Right. I'm the same way with the Bengals. Unfortunately, I like to think that a lot of it was they just didn't perform to what they were supposed to do. All righty. Well, AI, man, I'm going to be definitely keeping on this. This is definitely something I think could change the game here. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up?
I am all good right now. Just enjoy yourself, man. I know you're going out, have fun tonight. Going to get some grub.
Going to get some grub.
Heck yeah. Have fun, man. Enjoy yourself.
Awesome. Everyone also check out our Recliner Sports Report merch site. We just dropped our St. Patty's Day line. There's no way to celebrate St. Patty's and while also trying to keep the change. Thank you all, everyone, again, for all your support. Please smash that like, subscribe. All those things go up and add up and gives us more opportunities to be able to give back to communities and charities. So the more that you like, share, and comment, the more we get to bring in, and then the more we get to give away. So just know that everything that we're making, we're giving back and pumping out to charities. We do have some cool announcements coming up here later in the week, early next week, as we closed up our first month of our merch store to the Alzheimer Foundation, and we have down in Florida here the hurricane relief. We had our GoFundMe that wrapped up, and we'll be announcing all that stuff and putting that information out. So keep an eye out for that. That's all because of you. That's all because of your support. So thank you all. Thank you again.
Thank you, everybody.
And remember, as always, keep the change.
Have a great night.